our people have been fishing for centuries on these waters. First time I can remember, I was probably 2.5, sitting in my dad's 59 Chevy sidestep, me and my brother and my mom, and gunshots rang off the 11th Street Bridge. Came right through the window, and if it wasn't for my mom reacting so fast, I probably wouldn't be sitting here telling you this story. When my mom seen the shooter on the bridge and the shot rang out, she pulled me onto the floor, and the shot went right through the driver's front window, right out the back window, right where I was standing. That's the first time I can remember gunfire. There's many reasons why they didn't want us there, I guess, just maybe for the fact that we were just Indians. That's, they just. And the worst thing about it is the city never did anything to stop it. Random people would just stop on the bridge and get out and open fire at us, and it's heartening, it hurts. You're like a wounded duck, you know what I mean?
Did you see us fapping them down there?
You guys said we were going fishing?
Yes.
Oh.
This is for the salmon. Oh, 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 oh,
Hey, Dad. Thanks for taking me fishing.
Anytime.
When do we go again?
Whenever you're ready.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Play no games, sitting on mountaintop, beating on doors. The beats so loud, the panthers roar. We're kicking on doors, taking our nests. The panthers don't play no games. The panthers don't play no games. What you see is what you get, and you ain't seen nothing yet.
It was me growing up on my race. And I have nothing like this at all. So it was something that was very emotional. Something I wouldn't want any kid to go through. It's a rough life. A very rough life. I hope no kid has to go through that at all.
Go through what?
Alcoholism, drugs. You know, watch your parents pretty much kill themselves as they call everyday life, and you're watching them. That's not what you want your kids to be, right? And so that's why I changed the way I am. Watching my dad, you know, die at 36. I'm 36. He died from drinking. I know I'm at his age. I can say I'm gonna live longer than he did to watch my kids grow up.
So, I mean, like I used to think moderation, was not how much you drank, it was how often you drank. But I realized that, like, that's not what moderation is. Moderation is how much you drink when you drink.
Exactly.
And like, because I know that when I fall off the wagon, it's big time. It doesn't matter if it was 3 months, a year.
Yeah. You always go back to the same scenario. Watching my dad go to work, first thing in the morning, crack a beer. Go on his breaks, crack a beer. Because he was a barber, so there's a bar around every corner. And that's what he did. Go back, cut hair. They'd tip him. He'd go to the bar. I'd play video games at the corner store, and he'd drink beer.
So what was that like, putting on that skin as an actor? I mean, did you think you had anything in you? I mean, did you think you were going to tap into that? What happened? I mean, tell me what that was like as an actor. I mean, it's your first time to really do this,
First
right?
time ever doing this. At first, I was like, no way, I don't want to do it. But yeah, I'll do anything for my kids. Even if it's something I didn't want to do like this.
Putting on that skin?
Yep. I didn't want to do it, but my son opened my eyes, and I'm glad I did it. I'm very glad I did it.
So would you say that you had to put the skin of your father on for the film?
Yes, very much so.
And you didn't even see that coming, did you?
Not at all. Once we did that scene, it's flashback as a kid.
Blam.
I was my son, 12 years old, little boy, watching my dad. Hey, can you wake up just to watch football with me? No. It was never like that. Can you take me to a baseball game? No. So, it's a little rough, but I just want to turn a new page and make sure my kids have a better life than I did growing up, in which I think they do so far.
What about, this story as a story for the community?
The story as a community is, I am just at shock and awe that he came up with this film, this script by himself. And the night that he sat up here all night, and I was asking him, "What are you doing, Toma?" "No, he just had football practice, 10 o'clock at night. What's going on?" And he said, "Dad, I got this script, and do you know what it's about?" I go, "No, what's it about, Toma?" "Remember that night we went fishing all night long?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "That is what I like. That's what's in my head. How we can fish, and how we can dive, and how we can use our tribal rights." And I'm glad that they get to do everything that they can to fulfill their tribal rights.
Fishing with Dad. So as a community, this story represents how to hold on to what instead of the bottle?
Hold on to your children. Hold on to your family ties. I know that bottle's just liquid. Your family's love. It's more than, to me, more than anything. More than any bottle that you can purchase on a shelf. It's priceless. You know, teaching your kids how to fish, you know, how to dive, how to do whatever you know how to do, you're passing it on. It's just priceless for these children nowadays. You know, versus they can run out of the street on a Friday night and find anything and anybody. But I'm glad that they do what they do, and they're very outgoing, and that's what I like to see any Native kid be, very outgoing. Speak your mind. Always speak your mind.
So Toma did a good job speaking his mind, eh?
He did, and they always. That's what I tell them. You know what the worst thing to ask? And they always say, "What?" I say, "Not to ask a question at all. You always ask a question. There's never a wrong question to ask. Why do you do this?" You know, people might get discouraged and mad if you ask them 10 times, but you'll get it on the 11th. You know, it's patience. You gotta have patience with these kids. Versus a bottle, there's no patience. There's just pain. Pain and a rough road the next day, as you can see. Versus a smile, and that kid laying down, tuckered out from a full day of fishing. That's what it's about for me.